just going to be listening.
Okay, so you're just Liz False Hope.
Yes.
Okay,
I think it's water. I'm just right across the hall getting water.
We're live, right? So we're live. Maybe listen up.
No, Senator McDonald had childcare.
We're live.
He has a new calf. And he needed to go home 10 to 2. Before it got dark. So, he has gone.
So we're still waiting on the edited version.
Okay, the secretary has said, just get any version up to him and we can substitute anything tomorrow. They are
Okay,
getting
so
set.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Well, maybe they just finished it.
I know.
Are you ready to sit off?
Here's what we're gonna do.
Do you want me to share my screen or just walk you through it?
Why-
Because you don't
can
have the amendment. do you?
No, so why don't you just stick it up there?
Jill, could you send me the, or did you already send that?
If you did.
I'm sorry, it has been,
I'll forward it.
I got it.
We love his cookie,
We want it to.
but I got the bird house.
Did you go home with it?
Huh?
Did you go home?
Yeah.
Do you want me to click
No.
this thing?
Pardon?
Will you click this thing?
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay,
Hi, Katie and Abby.
okay, everybody's here. Thank you, everyone, for giving up an evening.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's been a real interesting thing to see how childcare impacts even this committee. It is an essential.
Okay,
All right.
so for the record, I'm Damian Leonard from the Office of Legislative Counsel. I'm now sharing the draft. I don't know if this has been completely edited yet, so I am pulling it up.
Well, we can vote it out and then.
We'll send a clean copy.
The clean copy can go to the secretary.
Yep. So, the first instance of amendment here. Katie, do you want to talk about this?
Sure.
Thanks.
The first instance of amendment addresses the issue with the work requirements. The underlying report that came out of Senate Health and Welfare had the second half of subdivision A1 struck out, and by retaining that language, we're addressing the issue of work requirement.
Okay. So this says you have to be working to get CCFAP. All right.
Right?
Is it, I mean, is there a way to just pause on like, what do we mean by working?
Yeah, like continually or?
I'm,
Continuous?
I mean, you might be a part-time, like,
Right.
okay, Katie, what, you know, what kind, can you, is it an hour? Is it? How much do you have to work? And I'm assuming these are federal regulations, so.
Yeah, we don't define it in state statute, so I don't have it at my fingertips. I would have to dig up some either federal regulation or it could be in our state rule, but I don't have that at my fingertips.
Okay. But it is,
okay.
if we find something we don't like, therefore, we've got 2 days. They've just got to get it taken up across the hall. Okay, let's keep going.
Sorry, 4 minutes. 4 minutes could come out next week when we.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So are there any other changes in there, Katie?
No, that's the only difference from the Senate Health and Welfare version of Section 2.
Okay, so we've renumbered the repeal of the child tax credit.
Okay,
And this gets us to the child care and parental leave contribution. While I was having to fix so many different things, we made a technical correction. So you're gonna notice the numbering changed from 33 VSA 2001 to 33 VSA 2201. Katie, I hope it's okay. I put a new chapter in. I just switched us to a different chapter.
I'm sure we all noticed that.
And
Not a big deal, or?
it's actually occurring to me that we may need a different chapter number, Katie. So
Okay,
I'll-
those can be technical corrections. which we'll put on the floor.
We'll put it in the clean version that you send to Secretary Bloomer. So we've defined a self-employed individual as a sole proprietor or partner owner of an unincorporated business, sole member of an LLC, or the sole shareholder of a corporation. The next definition is self-employment income, which has the same meaning as in 26 USC 1402. So why is this important? Because this ties us directly to the Social Security contribution and benefit base. And this covers net income from self-employment, which is, it's your business income offset by things like your, if for example, you're a contractor and you have to buy raw materials, and so that doesn't actually, you may earn, X revenues, but your actual income is much lower because you have to buy raw materials. It doesn't include that. It doesn't include things like, for example, if you occasionally rent your family's vacation home when you're not using it, doesn't cover that. On the other hand, if you run a real estate business and you're renting out properties through your real estate business, it would include that. So this is, if you are self-employed, this is what your accountant presumably is helping you figure out your income within the constraints of. So questions on those definitions? All right. The next piece here is the 75-25 split. So an employer may deduct and withhold from an employee's covered wages an amount equal to not more than 1/4 of the contribution required pursuant to subsection B. So this gives the employer the option of withholding less. And then the subdivision A2 here is the self-employed individual childcare and parental leave contributions on self-employment income, shall make installment payments of estimated contributions pursuant to this subdivision as if the contributions were Vermont income tax subject to the estimated payment requirements of Vermont law. So this is the same exact way you'd make your quarterly estimated payments if you're self-employed for your income tax. We've set the contribution rate at 0.42%, and we've added in, so it's 0.42% of each employee's covered wages and each self-employed individual's self-employment income. And the next piece here is just noting that self-employed individuals are responsible for the full amount of any unpaid contributions due pursuant to that section. Technical changes here to change the reference to 2201, and then no other changes within that section. Third instance of amendment, we've gone back to the health and welfare. We're changing now the corresponding provisions. So we've added the cross references to 2201, and this is the job protected leave law. This just allows you to use this money as wage replacement. And then the parental leave benefit program, because of the addition of self-employed, I had to rewrite this a bit. So an eligible parent can apply to receive parental leave benefit for up to 12 weeks during which the eligible parent is caring for the child and unable to work if the eligible parent is either employed or self-employed prior to the birth or adoption and intends to either return to employment or self-employment after the parental leave or seek new employment or self-employment after the parental leave. So this recognizes that people may choose to transition their career. They have to self-certify as part of their application. I don't know the extent that you can enforce this, but the intent here is that you were earning income through some form of work prior to it, and you intend to return to it, whether you do that or not.
Okay.
Renumbering for the rest of this, I broke out these two sentences because the paragraph was getting so complicated. I needed to break out the last sentence to make that readable, and then it just made sense to break everything else out.
So I just want to clarify that what we heard is when the bill gets to appropriations, it's likely that
Get rid
Senator
of
Mitchell will work on the one
Yes.
to two parent.
You can split the 6 weeks, one
Right.
parent, 3, one parent, 3, what,
Right, and that's an easy change.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that appropriations is gonna take up that issue as well.
this is different,
Right, yeah.
yeah.
Um, The, right, and then corresponding changes to the application requirements. So a signed certification from the eligible parent's employer that they are currently employed or were employed within 30 days prior, or proof of self-employment income earned during the prior calendar year, or if the individual did not earn self-employment income, that should say in Vermont during the prior calendar year. Proof of self-employment income earned in Vermont during the current calendar year. So this addresses that issue of that we were talking about earlier. And because taxable years tie to the calendar year, I just use calendar year for ease of understanding. And then the statement of intent to return to employment or self-employment or seek new employment or self-employment. And then I switched, instead of listing the specific materials, because it can vary depending on whether you're employed or self-employed, I just said and other required materials in 2 places here.
Can I have a quick question? So the intent to return to work, is that to cover the contingency that someone's not just ceasing work altogether, they're actually on leave?
Right, the idea here was that this is meant to be wage replacement for a leave. Even under the House paid leave bill, an individual could always take that wage replacement and then tell their employer, as late as week 12, I've decided I'm not coming back. So that it does happen
Yeah.
Sure.
for whatever reason.
You could legitimately change your mind.
Yeah, or something comes up. You discover that your child has a developmental disability and you need to spend more time caring for them or something like that. Or you get a better opportunity elsewhere.
You just like staying home with your child.
Right, there are all sorts of reasons that can change, and so this is just reflective of that. And then with parental leave, we've just said added or self-employment to what the leave of absence is from. And then the last change here is just a corresponding change. The health and welfare bill had it switching from department for children and families to department, that should say, of economic empowerment.
Don't worry about it because that will be being altered across the hall.
Understood, but I like to have everything clean.
That's what the bill has now, all right. Okay,
Okay, and we have the edits, so I can make those while you vote.
okay, committee,
What's the draft number?
That is draft 3.1.
Will it be when you finish your last?
It will.
week?
It will, I'm not gonna change the draft number.
It was 1.1,
3.1,
3.1, date and timestamp, please.
date and timestamp is 6:18 PM tonight. Date is 3/22/2023.
And somewhere I have the language about self-employed people paying into CCP.
Yeah, so the tax goes to
Okay.
both.
Okay,
Um,
I just
so-
feel like I was seeing some language in relation to paid family leave.
So I think my default is to talk about it in relation to paid family leave, because I worked on the paid family leave and not the CCFAP piece, but the fund that is where all of that revenue
Yeah.
flows to funds both.
okay. Questions, motion, are you being the clerk or are you making,
Both.
you're being both, all
It's
right.
legal.
Teach Senator McDonald, lead us.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to amend Bill S56 with draft 3.1 dated 3/22/23, 6:18 PM.
Okay, and that's the draft that we have just been through. Is there further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
No.
Okay, I've got that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1.
And that's the amendment.
And that's the amendment. And so we now need to vote to approve the bill as amended. Is that your motion?
Yes, I would move that finance report favorably as amended.
Okay, further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
No.
Okay, 5, 1, 1. Unless somebody wants to, I will report that.
Well, I was really looking forward to it, but I'll let you.
Senator Corbett wants to report.
No, like I said, I'll defer to you. I'll let you know.
Thank you. And I'm gonna, Damien, if we can,
I can give you the final version.
okay, and Jill, you can
within
print that
moments.
and I can take it upstairs. And everybody else can go home. Thank you, everybody. Thank your families for,
Sorry if I caused this. I'm talking too much today.
no,
We were gonna finish late anyway. I was gonna-
You made up for it with pizza.
Cheers.
You don't blame yourself. We weren't listening back carefully.
okay.
Oh, I missed out on pizza.
Oh, Senator Chittenden did not know about the Senate tradition of you starve until you finish your work, and we don't care if it's at midnight. The House goes out and gets a dinner break. We
More
don't.
pleasant when there's food around, so I.
Yes.
I gathered that.
I'm ready to break that tradition, so whenever.
Okay. So now that we have people that need to eat, for a condition, we can